So I was revisiting Metroplex the other day, the first Titan we got, and I was really enjoying him. Even though he's kind of outdated in some ways, there are other things that are really fun about him, like the electronics and lights and sounds that we don't get on Titans anymore. He's still absolutely huge compared to the new Titans, and the one thing that always held him back from me was that he's just really plain, so I went ahead and got my very first reprolabels kit, and you can see that I've applied most of it here. I kept pieces that were originally on the figure because I already had them applied, except for places where I did not like the original stickers. But I have to say, even though it very, very clearly improved him in some ways that I love, like this silver stripe right here, and other many various details like these on the legs right here, those on the feet, overall, I didn't really love the repro labels. I really did not like these silver bits right here, because these were just impossible to put on in a way that they didn't have any air bubbles. And yeah, the air bubbles just really, really ruin it for me. Even though, of course, that is kind of my fault. It's like, I can't imagine how to put them on perfectly. Same thing with the legs here. They were just impossible to put on. And I think it just, I don't know, it kind of feels a little tacky to me. I obviously know what they're going for, mimicking the original G1 toy and also the other special releases of this figure. But I just didn't love the repro labels overall, and while I think there were excellent choices for a lot of the labels, like that silver stripe there, these over here on the shoulder, these things on his head, they also missed out in some places for me. Like, there's no detail on the arm except for this elbow joint here. There's nothing in this entire section of the torso, and yeah, I just wouldn't have done this because it feels a little tacky, feels really hard to put on, pretty much no way to make that look perfect in my opinion. And so what I did was I went out and I bought the Takara version of Metroplex. And so here they are next to each other. It's like $1,000 worth of Transformer today. And yeah, I really love the Takara version of Metroplex. First of all, he of course comes with the second gun, which is something that I've always wanted. Every time I look at this guy, I'm like, darn you Hasbro for not including that second gun. He really looks excellent when he holds both of them in both hands. And you know, since my biggest problem with the repro labels was that leg area where it just does not apply perfectly to me, it looks kind of like too loud and kind of tacky, I was really glad to get the more muted silver that is actually painted on to the plastic there on the Takara version. It's flawless, it looks great, it's not too loud, and I actually thought that the face chrome would be something I didn't like, but in person I like it much more than I thought. It might be kind of hard to capture on camera, but it's not nearly as loud or tacky looking as I thought it would be. And of course, when the lights are going off, it looks great. And like I said, I felt like repro labels' priorities weren't always perfect, like the lack of anything going on in the arms. For the Takara figure, although there are places that he lacks detail compared to the Hasbro figure, like the lack of a sticker right here, or the lack of stickers over here on the shoulder under the cannon, you can see that the Hasbro figure has stickers in all of these places that came with the figure. He does have more evenly dispersed details in my opinion. So whereas the Hasbro one has absolutely nothing on the torso, we get at least these little black stripes right here. The Hasbro one has nothing on any of the hips or thighs. We get this outline here, the red here, the silver on the thighs. Where Hasbro has absolutely nothing going on the entire arms, here we get the black detail right there, the red stripes right there. Oh, and another big one for me is the silver paint on the tips of the gun right here on his shoulder. The Hasbro one has nothing there, which I thought always looks really lame. It doesn't really feel like a powerful weapon if it all just kind of looks plain white plastic like the rest of him. Those silver tips definitely do a lot for me too. And speaking of the two guns, now that we have Slammer here who can go on his shoulder and form a sort of shoulder cannon, missile launcher thing like that, and of course him coming out is part of the reason why I was revisiting Metroplex in the first place. But you can do that. I mean, I think that looks really cool as a shoulder piece right there on Metroplex. And then he can hold his two guns with his hand. So the addition of the second gun definitely does a lot for me. Another big difference is these chest missiles or guns or whatever that come out of Metroplex. They have lots of paint here. On the Hasbro one, they're all white. Repro Labels adds a little bit of shine there, but yeah, huge difference there. Actually painting that and making it feel like something other than just kind of like a panel falling off on the Hasbro one. Also, Repro Labels had some window stickers, and this is the Takara one that is actually painted like a window right there. I just couldn't bring myself to take all of them off and put it on the gun. It was going to be extremely cumbersome. And so yeah, that's really all I wanted to say about the two Metroplexes here. I'm very happy that I got the Takara one. He's a huge improvement over the Hasbro one, and if you're going for this figure and you don't have one at all yet, They both go for extremely high prices, but I've seen the Takara one go for only about 100 more, so in my opinion, it's worth it to go all the way with the Takara one today. And so yeah, that's the main purpose and perspective of this video that I wanted to share, was that I think the Takara one is so worth it, even with the repro labels. I couldn't call it a formal Hasbro versus Takara comparison since I already put the labels on him, and I also haven't taken the time to apply either of their vehicle mode stickers because there's so many of them, I just haven't gotten around to it. But in general, Takara one looks amazing, highly recommend him. I feel a little bit crazy for buying him just because of some paint differences, but you know, that's what this hobby's about, right? I guess, I don't know. Anyways, stay tuned for more Transformers content, and thanks for watching.